Good morning, welcome to Texas Traveler RC. Got to apologize for my workbench being all dirty. I'd moved on to kind of during the week waiting for some balsa filler to show up. I'd moved on to just kind of studying and laying out my fuselage parts. When I posted this week's video, I had a comment from a gentleman that his name is Jay, or at least the name he uses on YouTube is Jay, about the dihedral I had in my wing. Really, I hadn't even thought about it. I spent so much time doing my angle jigs for my inboard ribs that I cut them twice before I was happy with them, and I guess I still messed that up because he was right. I did have way too much dihedral in my wings, way too much, like 3 times more than needed. So I got a little upset, and instead of videoing or anything like that, I just broke out my Zona saw, which is a fine tooth, ultra fine tooth saw, which is great in my miter box for soft balsa, but it isn't worth the crud for cutting through epoxy. But I got it out and took my frustrations out on the wing. I cut the wing about 2/3 of the way through, and then took my heat gun, not my covering heat gun, but my sure enough super heat gun. Maybe you can even see it's in the shadows up here, but there's even like a little charring. And I heated up the top side, and then I flipped it over on the back and really heated up the epoxy on that side until the wing started to kind of come apart. Epoxy will soften up. And then I took a piece of balsa, I turned it back over on the bottom, and I pushed this wing tip down, and then I just started driving this piece of balsa into here until I got to 1.5 inches. And I just left, well, this piece of balsa is stuck in here now because the epoxy's reset. But I guess my plan is that I'll cut through here, and then everywhere else I cut with the saw, I'm going to have to fill that in because I don't want to use 20 pounds of filler trying to fill this void I've created, and plus putting this wood in there will make it stiffer. And I'm still not worried about it. Once this gets fiberglass, this center section is going to be plenty strong. Anyway, I'm going to fill in all this gap with balsa, and then get that cut down, and that's how we're going to start this week. Well, it's taken a tremendous amount of sanding to get it back down to where it's ready to take some balsa filler again. I think this came out really nice. The wing is back to being strong. Once we put fiberglass on it, it'll be even stronger. I did find some Model Light, and it says balsa tint, lightweight filler, but I think this is probably about the same stuff that we used to use, the Hobby Light and things like that, I think. I actually expected this to be a bigger bottle. I think the ones that we used to get were quite a bit bigger than this, but it's probably enough to do a plane or two. So I'm going to get to putting this on the high spots and in some places like back here where it's going to need some definite gap filling right there, and let that set up. It's starting to get pretty hot here in the garage. We're not quite this afternoon, so it's not as hot as the inside of the devil's oven, but it will be before the day's over. So the time I've got to work on this is kind of running down on me. I'll get this filler put in some spots, and I'll kind of show you how that came out, and hopefully it comes out better than that Elmer's filler did. Anywho, I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Alright, so we've got our top all finished. We've got our balsa filler here and sanded down, feathered out. It came out really good. Trying to get this recorded before all the bugs invade over here. They're already got a few flying in. we've taken our time and got our leading edge all shaped up, because once we put the fiberglass on it, there's nothing we can do. And then I've gone ahead and cleaned up and sanded down the bottom. Before you put fiberglass on here, normally I'd have a tack cloth. I know I have two brand new in the bag tack cloths, and I can't find them. So what I'll do is I'll just take some alcohol. I've got a little spray bottle here. I just spray this down with alcohol real good, and then just take a plain paper towel and just try to clean it up with that. And the nice thing about the alcohol is it dries really quick, and once this dries, we're ready to put some fiberglass down in here. I do have 6-inch, I mean they call it fiberglass tape, but I do have some 6-inch fiberglass. I got this at Sonictronics. They make some really good stuff. It's really a heavyweight fiberglass, and we'll come out here in the morning when it's not 10,000 degrees and the bugs aren't swarming my camera, and we'll go through this. We're going to let it sit overnight and just chill out, and I think I'm going to go get in the pool and chill out myself. So I'll see all y'all back here in the morning. Alright, so we're going to get to work on this fiberglass this morning. Got what they call 6-inch tape by Sonictronics. I meant to look on their website yesterday and make sure that they still sell this. I bought this off of eBay for almost nothing. It's great quality cloth. I love the way it comes. It's already cut to the size I need. It is a heavier cloth, which is fine with me, especially since it's right in the center of the plane. It's really good stuff, and we're going to be using probably the only time I use a Zap product. That's not true. One of the few times I use a Zap product is their finishing resin. It has about an it's got about a 30-minute working time, and it takes about 6 to 8 hours to cure to where it's sandable. So this is perfect to do this morning. Let it sit out here in the oven of the garage. We're supposed to be over 100 today. I can come back this evening. I can go ahead and cut and kind of feather sand the edges where I want to overlap the top section a little bit with the bottom, and go from there. And all I'm going to do is I've got a little cup here, and I'm just going to walk through this and let y'all watch me do this. And if I have any comments, then I'll get back on the comments. But for now, I am going to turn my fan back on and go to work. Turn the fan off right quick. Basically, after I pour my resin, I look at my bottles, and I'm looking to see if the levels are almost the same. That way I know I've got the same amount. And I can't believe on my first shot I got what looks like almost a perfect pour out of both bottles, exactly the same. But every once in a while a blind squirrel will find an acorn, so we'll roll with that, and we're going to mix that up, and I'm going to let you see how I do this. Okay, at this point I feel like I've got my fiberglass cloth fully impregnated with finishing resin. I did hold back a little bit, not a huge amount, and but it looks like what I use is just about fine. These places where I got some, this is a messy job. Number one is I'm actually really happy with what I've done here, but it is a messy job. You're going to tend to get it on your fingers and elsewhere. So where I'm going to go next is I just get some paper towel, and I'm going to get some alcohol. I'm going to spray that alcohol on my paper towel, get it pretty wet, and I'm going to start taking my card, and I'm just going to be taking my card, cleaning it off with alcohol, and then my leading edge could use a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to squeegee up all the excess, try to move it towards the front and just round it over on the front right here, and then I'm going to take this and put in my alcohol and clean it off and do some more. And I'll do this a few times where I'm trying to get any excess that I've got out of here, which I can tell I've got quite a bit. I don't know if you can see that. That's just one little run. Because we don't need all this excess epoxy, and even though it's not a lot, it is more weight, and it's just better if we go ahead and try to get all we can off. Make sure that we don't have any air bubbles in here or anything like that. I mean, you can hear me dragging across the cloth, and then I'll go back down over the front a few times with these. But yeah, all we're trying to do is just get all the excess off we can. Not too worried about my edges, because we're gonna feather sand those in. Try to do a little bit angled right at the. So we're going to try to get this epoxy resin moved out from the center and towards the tip of the wing, and just go over our leading edge just like that, and then we'll come and get this edge and this down here. And when we're happy with that, we're going to take our paper towel, we're going to spray it down again with some alcohol, and we're just going to rub it across here and see if we can get any of this excess off. And it's still going to leave plenty of resin down in the fiberglass cloth. It's not all going to come off on the towel, but this just gets an extra little layer of fiberglass resin off there, and it'll make it a neater job. And then all these places where we had a little bit of overrun, we'll just go ahead and spray those directly and clean up any of this resin. It'll come right off with this alcohol. We'll just clean up our edges. It doesn't have to be super clean, but I don't want epoxy all over the place. Like I said, these edges will wind up feather sanding in, so not that big a deal, but we did get some excess out here, and we don't need to make our sanding any harder than it's already going to be, especially if you're one of those like me that just doesn't care for sanding that much. But there we go. There's it put together. We're going to let this cure all day, and then we'll come back and we'll do we'll trim our cloth off, which is going to be a lot easier now that it's got epoxy in it. We're going to sand down all of our edges, and then flip it over and do the other side. Clean that up tomorrow. Well, probably not tomorrow, but clean it up Tuesday, And we're moving on, folks. I'll get back to you when I can. Thank you. Alright, it's roughly 8 hours later. And we're back. I've gone through here and I've feather sanded all the edges, trimmed everything down to where it's just fiberglass cloth that's got epoxy in it that's sticking on the model. And then I finally just went over it lightly with this 60 grit sandpaper, just knocking down any high spots and smoothing it out. Before we go to finish this, I'll take some 120 grit sandpaper and really smooth this out and get this weave out of here to where it'll be hard to tell this is fiberglass. But you can see we've barely overlapped the center of the leading edge. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to try to overlap the top to probably right about in here. And then we're just going to do the same thing to the top as we did to the bottom. Got some more fiberglass cloth here, and just gonna lay it out and go. And once I feather sand the edges and just knock the high points off and get everything smoothed up, it'll be time to go on to the fuselage, and we'll be done with this for the week. Anyway, I'll do this tonight. It probably won't be, I won't be able to work on it. I probably won't be able to work on it tomorrow much. I may just a little bit. And I'll try to get this wrapped up day after tomorrow and get started with the fuse portion. Anyway, I'll show you what this looks like, and then after that I'll probably drop the video. Alright, so that's it. We're done with the center. We're done with the center section. Before we go to covering and stuff like that, we'll come back with some 120 grit sandpaper and knock it down a little bit more. Get it ready to take a covering, but until we get final finishing of the wing, we're done with the wing, folks. Of course, there's more to do and stuff like that with it, but all the major assemblies done. I want to thank Jay again for pointing out my excessive dihedral. I'm glad I was able to get that fixed. And next up, the fuse. So we'll get ready to start building the fuse and take it from there. This will be the end of this video this week. I want to thank all of y'all out there for watching and following and commenting. I do read the comments and I appreciate that. And we'll just move on. All you men over 40, get your PSA checked. God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a great week.